Hey everyone, I'm here with my friend Mike from Dropify, and we are going to show you guys a cool new twist on private label that you might not have known before. And so we're just kind of putting together a special extra session for our seller roundtable listeners, as well as the Amazing at Home community. And welcome, Mike. Please tell us a little bit more about you and how you got started in e-commerce.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here. And this is awesome. Honestly, when I got started in e-commerce, it's funny. I actually got into sales because I was fired as a bartender for being a bad bartender about about 10 years ago. And I got into sales. I started selling things like telecom. And honestly, I just started getting, I figured out, real quick that, selling is not about, um, it's not about the transaction. I mean, that's the result, but selling is about the relationship, right? And so the relationship requires trust, and part of that trust equals story, kind of like what you and I are doing right now. And so I kind of took that, and I learned that from a few gurus and mentors that I had along the way. But over the last, I'd say 10 or 15 years, I have I've been slowly kind of working out what my story is and what my strategy relationship is, and then also how to actually listen to other people and what their story and what their needs are. And then if there was a fit, it was easy. And so I love doing that, but I hated doing that over the phone because I felt like, oh my gosh, like there's only so many calls you can make in a day. Even if you're talking super fast, it's like you're limited. And so e-commerce was just really, really interesting. And at the time, I had been working for a financial company as their like heading up all their sales teams. And I was just working I was gonna say ridiculous. That's not even a word. Stupid hours, just ridiculous hours.
I
And
think we just invented that word. I like that word.
ridiculous. You know what?
Ridiculous.
Throw it on
That's a cool.
afterwards.
Could be a cool brand name.
I'm just saying. Yeah. and so I and so I was working just crazy hours. But you know what? We had decided, my wife and I, early on, that she was going to stay home with the kids because she wanted to raise her kids. She didn't want someone else raising her kids. And you know what? That was just a decision that we made as a family. And so I again went out and I had to go find the money to be able to support. And that was what was working for us. But then it stopped working for us because when you're not seeing each other, there's a break that can happen. And so our family was not really in a really healthy place for a few months. And then we said, listen, we got to figure out a way to do this where we can maybe work together, or we can figure out a way where you're not working 70 hours a week. And I said, you're right, because I was burning out and it was just a nightmare. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that know what that feels like, where it's almost like you're passing in the night, because you have two parents that are working and just to, afford to pay bills. And even though it wasn't two of us working, it was one of us working. And it was the same thing where we were just barely passing each other. And that wasn't cool. So why did we get into e-commerce? Well, my wife actually took an Amazon course. She was looking around and she had come across this coach that was offering this course on how you can get started with Amazon. And so she kind of looked through some of his YouTubes and she said, babe, I think this is going to work. Let's try this. And we didn't have much money saved up. But she said, let's just take our savings. And I think we got to do this and invest in it. So she was actually the one that got it kicked off. And I was like, okay, babe, like, I don't have time to invest into doing a course because I'm not even home that much. And to do this would be tough. I said, but if you want to take it and tell me if it's a good fit, then let's invest in it. So we did that. And she spent like 6 months just researching how to do Amazon and how to get it up and running. And she had just got this feeling. We took a big family vacation, and she had this feeling that I was going to quit my job, in a year. And I was like, okay, well, how are we going to get money? And I was super skeptical about the whole thing. And you know what? She, man, I just leave it to our wives, our spouses, to be the smarter than us sometimes, but not all the time actually. But she was bang on, actually, a year to the day. I had the opportunity to leave my job, and we just went after it. And she started with this really awesome slime toy, and now we have thousands and thousands of toys all across North America because we both were able to work together. and we're super happy. Our family has never been healthier, and yeah, it's been a ridiculous or stupid. What was a restupulous ride?
Restupulous.
Restupulous ride.
That's going to be the
But
title of this episode. Restupulous with Mike Weiss.
The restupulous ride. And so, yeah, we figured out how to work together, and there was a little bit of back and forth and some, gear grinding just to kind of get everything fitting right. But we figured out she's the visionary and I'm the actionary, and it seemed to work with us. So it was really great. And then I
love that your wife, kind of had the extra, I don't know what to belief and
courage.
Courage. I think my husband did the same for me. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. And he was like, you can do this, and there was never a doubt in his mind. And here I'm like, I don't know if I can leave my job. Yeah. I don't know if I can make it on my own, and he was like, it's going to be fine. You're going to do it, and of course we did it. It wasn't just me, but yeah, I love that your wife, had that courage, because so many of us, we need that, we need, a lot of us, we don't have the support of our, sometimes our spouses are a little rough on us, right? Maybe they haven't ever done anything really risky before. And, and that's so important. So, but I agree with you. It's worth it. It's amazing. It's an incredible life. And it's really awesome to be able to spend that time with your kids. Yeah. So what a cool journey. Thank you for sharing it with us. Yeah, and what do you do now? Like so you've got this Dropify shirt on. Tell me about that.
Well, this is my sleeping shirt. No,
I'm in my pajamas too. It's cool.
There we go. Right? So right now, so what happened is we actually went away for a year, my wife and I, and in that year, we actually experienced all of the pivotal transitions that Amazon had made in a very short period of time. And we're talking about like MSDS. We had our damaged. We went into a hazmat status when it was a huge mistake on Amazon's end, but that locked up all of our inventory. So we actually ended up taking out loans and things like that to just double down on the inventory that was winning, which again was a big no-no. But we didn't know that at the time. We thought, we got a winning product. Let's do it. And we had about, I would say almost 10,000 units that were hung up, and which then if it's getting hung up, it's that storage fees that are accumulating. And so that started eating out all of our profits and bank accounts. And we got into a really, really tough situation. And then that's while we were traveling in the States. So then we actually got stuck in the States because we're from Canada. And so we were stuck in Arizona and we had no way back. We had no money to go back home. We had our tiny car that I could barely fit in.
And your kids.
With my kids, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we had one suitcase that we were sharing, and because we didn't even know how long we were going to be gone, and we got stuck there. And we got stuck in the States for about 6 months, and we had to figure out how to work. And I'm Canadian, so I can't work in the States. And my wife is a dual citizen, but she was having a hard time trying to find a job down there. And thank goodness we had some people that were helping us out with, letting us rent their houses, because obviously a lot of Canadians were all friendly. And so we have lots of snowbirds from Canada as well. So they had lots of houses down there. Anyway, so we had to figure out how to make money. And again, we were doing Amazon, but again, Amazon, the tricky thing with Amazon, this is before the dropshippers kind of came in and then were asked to leave, was the private label is a very expensive and time consuming process. And we didn't have any money, and we didn't have a lot of time. Like, we needed a quick solution.
And I think a lot of people with private label, they think that they're going to be able to just make all this money from the get-go, and they don't realize how much it's going to cost them to start the foundation of their business and then to reinvest in that inventory so that they don't stay out of stock. A lot of people spend way too much on advertising in the beginning, so they're not actually profitable. And so they're like, okay, well, I spent everything I had setting this up, and now I have nothing to take out. And, it's like so many people quit before they even get to the point where they would actually get to see that. But sometimes the first year, even if you have 3 or 4 products, you're not necessarily profitable because inventory turnover, learning mistakes, that kind of stuff. And I think that fools a lot of people because they see these big screenshots, they're like, oh, wow, you got one product and you made $100,000. And it's like, okay, well, that's the revenue. But
that's gross.
Yeah, exactly.
We were actually in the hole.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And you know what? That was kind of similar to what we had, is when I said that we were in lockdown with our products for 6 months. We, in that time, again, it was my wife's slime kit that she had made. We had the market became incredibly saturated. So
Mhm.
actually, even when we got unlocked, we were in red ocean. We were kind of in blue ocean before, and now we're in red ocean. And there's so many people that were there, and then it became a price war. And
Yeah,
so
price and
and
reviews.
and so we had reviews, but we were way too high in the market. So we tried to
Mhm.
differentiate ourselves, and we tried to, go for different keywords, and it just wasn't working. So we weren't winning on that front. So my wife said, okay, I'm going to take this on. And so she's so then what I did is I started going after stores, because again, putting my sales hat on and my biz dev hat on, I started trying to sell it at wholesale just to get something. Cause again, we need money to get back home. It wasn't even that we were in trouble. We were in like a heck of a lot of trouble. So we were pulling business money for personal, and it was a nightmare, because we were just desperate. So as I was trying to hit wholesale, I realized something, that there was this drop shipping world out there, and I had taken courses on drop shipping and Shopify and things like that. And to be honest, we even tried it, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. Like, I felt like they were cheap products. It was generic, like all the same things that people always think with drop shipping.
Yeah, I
But
tried on Shopify originally. I did some complimentary products to my brand
yeah,
and did the whole Oberlo.
yeah,
And the thing is, like the products that you get, like you mentioned, on AliExpress and stuff, they're never like they look, is
yeah,
at least not in the pet niche. I would get this thing that looked like a really cool treat dispenser, and it would show up at the house to test
like
it
this.
out.
Yeah, like,
And
yeah,
it's like tiny, and the treats don't even fit in there. It's
yeah,
like, what kind of treats do you feed your cats?
yeah.
That doesn't work for
It
me,
was a
right?
keychain. Like,
Yeah. You're like, dang, that wasn't it. It's like you buy the Lamborghini on there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a little toy car. Yeah.
It's a Hot Wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I get it. And
Yeah.
it can work. It takes a lot of, you need to test those products. You need to get creative with them, and be a really good advertiser. But I'm
Mhm.
with you on that. So you
Yeah,
tried
no.
it again.
So we tried again, and you know what? I figured it out. I said, you know what? I got to find, and I put my Amazon hat on, and I thought, okay, maybe last time I didn't know, because I try to be the Walmart of everything, which is a huge mistake. And then I tried Facebook ads, and again, we had no money. And so every dollar I was spending was dollar that was going against food off the table. And there were so many nights that we were like down to our last cup of rice, because we just were in that was the trouble that we were in. We were second guessing ourselves, and it was crazy. But so I put my research on. I said, okay, I'm going to put the sweat equity in this. I'm going to stop trying to go after this with Facebook, and I'm going to see what are people selling right now. So I picked every like free tool, like trial and everything that I could find, just to try it out. And I actually ended up finding, we stayed in the toy niche, and I ended up finding, a truckload of like, trending toys that came in. And I just started going after my own Facebook, getting into groups, and just, saying, hey friends, this is what we have right now. Check this out. And I was doing my own designs using Canva and anything that was free, just to kind of do it. And what's crazy is it worked. I was able to. We ended up generating about 20 grand in a couple of weeks just from that drop shipping side, and that got us enough money to actually get home. And then we sat down and we just recalibrated, and we said, okay, what do we need to get done? Now there's that. So coming into Dropify, sorry, I'm a big storyteller. I apologize, but I promise this has a great ending. So we got home, and I had to, we had to stay with my parents for a bit, which is like, not fun, because whatever, you always feel like you're taking a step backwards, right? And my wife and I said, okay, well, you know what? We don't want to give up on this dream of Amazon, but we need to figure out how to make money, because right now we're mooching, and we hate that. And I mean, our parents are loving and caring, and they're willing just to help us. But now we have six people in this house instead of just the two that normally were there. And it's just, everyone's cramped. And so we're in a type spot, right? So then what happened is I went out and I was like, okay, I remember when I was using Dropify in their free 14-day trial, and because that's all I could afford, and to put it into my Shopify site that I was behind on, and I had to find a way to make up the payments. But I remember working with them, and actually it was really cool how quickly, not only could they get me into Shopify, because that's Overload, Shopify, Spocket, whatever, right? But I actually was able to make tweaks on the images, and that was huge, because I hated doing that, like cropping and all that nightmare in Paint. And the fact that they had their own, kind of in-app, editor, I love that because it helped me be able to put my brand on things, and it was great. And they were all US manufacturers, so I didn't have to worry about crazy long shipping times. And so people were getting them in half the time than when I was ordering stuff from China. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to dive into this. And then lo and behold, it was, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the tool. And a friend of mine that I used to work with at the financial company before we actually stopped was actually saying, hey, Mike, I'm interviewing for a position here at Dropify. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's super small world. And then at the end of the day, he just knew nothing about e-commerce. And so it wasn't a good fit for him. And so I coached him and I prodded him. And after that, he had said, well, actually, why don't I just introduce you? I have another venture I want to go after. Why don't I just introduce you? Met with the CEO and he's like, Mike, I love you. So I went through a couple weeks of that. And I was overjoyed because they opened up a brand new tier to their product that I know we're going to talk about today, as being a way to that giant nightmare that I just talked about, that I'm sure so many people have actually experienced at maybe worse levels or maybe not as worse levels. If I had that, my gosh, 2 years ago, now it wasn't around 2 years ago, but if I had that 2 years ago, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have seen near the headache that I did. So anyway, I wanted to spread the good news, and I've been using it, and it's fantastic. And there's lots of other folks that are using it, but it's more of an emerging thing that's happened with Amazon. So I'm really excited to share, because literally this is the first, actually, this is literally the first, show or interview where I've actually showcased this before. It's all just been private. So literally you're the first people that I've been willing to actually show this to. And I just really hope you guys know that this is super special. This is very unique. You need to stop paying attention to the bird flying outside and start looking at what's going on right now. Because what you're going to see today and learn today, both from Amy and myself, it's next level. And if you don't believe it, you're going to see it in the next 6 months. And we'd like you to kind of ride this wave and get ahead of it, because it's going to be incredible. So.
All right, well, let's get into it. I'm excited. What do you have in that mug? What are you drinking?
I'm not supposed to tell anyone. No, it's just coffee.
He's like, vodka? What are you drinking during this pandemic?
Why is he so heavy? Trust me, it's just over caffeinated coffee. So that's fine. Cool. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Is it all right, Amy, if I then just share my screen? I mean,
take over.
You tell me how you want to go. Is that cool?
Okay. Zoom it up, man.
Zoom it up. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I have this on separate pages. So let me just go ahead and throw it in. Amy, let me ask you, we're going to talk about Amazon, but there's a couple pieces we need to get to before Amazon. Would you rather me go through, well, actually, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Sorry. I was going to ask just about other platforms that people might sell on.
While you're sharing your screen, I can kind of bring that up, right? So
let's do it.
Definitely we have people with their own websites, right? Who are trying, there's so much focus now on the stuff that just lately, Amazon has been crazy, like inventory limits. A lot of people are merchant fulfilling now. They're exploring other channels, during COVID, during the pandemic, the big parts of the pandemic. I know it's not over yet, but during the big parts of the pandemic, people were starting to sell on other channels, myself included. People are discovering Etsy, they're discovering Walmart, they're discovering Wayfair, Overstock. There's tons of other online channels. I would say Walmart, Shopify, and Amazon are the big three leaders right now in the space. And then a few people do eBay and Etsy, like those are the other ones. So those are probably the biggest ones outside of Amazon, where people are trying to move product and get stuff going. Right.
Okay. No, this is good. I like it. So then what I'll do here is I'll show you kind of end result, and then maybe we can work our way backwards. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. So what we're going to be what I actually want to present to people today is the opportunity. Let me just start there. The opportunity here to be able to put your own labels, your own logos, your own brands, your own messaging on top selling, in demand, high margin, which means high profits products, right? And this is going to be sitting exclusively in the supplement CBD. Well, I want to talk about CBD separately from Amazon because you can't do it there, but supplements, CBD, pet products, as well as skincare. Okay. So why am we talking about this? Well, this new tier, so Dropify, like I told you, used to be exclusively drop shipping and competing with the Oberlos, the, Spockets, and the rest of the drop shipping, aggregate platforms in the past. And so now what we've wanted to do is we wanted to say, listen, so many people are having the same headaches that, I was having, where I said, man, if I could just get my own private label, my own brand, without having to go the route that normally I've had to go with, which, by the way, admittedly, I still do with, the other toys and things that we sell, just because they haven't created a private label on demand thing for toys yet, but here's hoping. But how can I do that where I can quickly, like I'm talking about in minutes, spin up a product with my own label on it and get it into my store? But that's part one. Part two is, how do you knock out the whole nightmare of the long shipping times? Where I can have super fast shipping that can compete with Amazon or be like Amazon. And that's two. Number three, though, is how do I do that with no upfront inventory costs, like no minimum order quantities, no upfront inventory costs, where I literally have to buy like in bulk and put it into, a platform like Amazon, where there are now limits to 200 per, or they're so backlogged with things that are going on with COVID that you're praying to God you can even get in with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but you're nervous to get in on a FBM or MS, or what do you call it? Yeah, FBM.
Yep.
That fulfilled by merchant, because of the shipping nightmare and warehousing costs and stuff. So everyone's crazy. What I want to show you right now is going to literally wipe all that out. So if you don't think I'm being honest here, I'm going to literally show you an example. I'm going to show you how to do it and how you can get started. And because I love Amy so much and I love what she's doing, I'm going to create something. I want to give you an opportunity to be able to get started with that without large commitments with that, if that's okay. But
sounds
I don't
good.
I
just
don't like going up to theory. Cool. So let's dive in to this. Now, can you see this? You can see this right now, Amy?
Yep. Hair vitamins.
Cool. All right. So I have my own strategies for why I'm doing this. So, I mean, if people in the States are going to recognize that this is a pretty similar brand to other popular brands. However, I'm trying out something, another strategy here before I even launch it. But the premise here is, this is my own brand. Sunmade Naturals is my own brand. Okay. I was able to get this into Amazon. The first time took 3 days, just because they have to go through a brand approval process. But after that, it's instant. Okay. And so in here, I'm not going to talk about how to list or anything like that again, because that's not the purpose of this. What we're talking about is the product and how to get your own labels on your own brands, on your own products. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to actually my store. What I'm showing you right now is Dropify's platform. And let me actually just dive in a little bit further onto the catalog. So we're talking about supplements, supplements, CBD, pet products, and skincare. So with the private label on demand, what you will have access to essentially is a catalog of products that you see all these are in black, because this is where your logo is going to go. So if I wanted to go to gummies, which is where I have my stuff, you can see that what I'm actually creating here is a biotin gummy that I put my own label on. So this is what it used to look like, because this is just a placeholder. Yeah. And this is, let me put this back here. There we go. Jeepers, too many things open. This is what it looks like now. Okay. Right. So the idea is you are going to put your own designs on these products and you can flip them into Amazon. Now that in and of itself is not difficult, right? And I'm going to show you how quickly you can get it done, and that's fine. But now let's start going after what happens when a client makes an order. What happens? How is this whole thing actually going to work? Because great, now you have a catalog that you can put your own stuff on, but where's this sitting?
So essentially you're merchant fulfilling these.
You are, yeah. So we are merchant fulfilling these. So this is not going to be FBA. This is FBM. Okay, which means you don't
FBM. You can still advertise for FBM. You can still, so it's FBM is okay. You can still rank an FBM product.
Absolutely. And you know what? I actually was number one in biotin for the longest time. And then I stopped kind of putting my attention on it. And then obviously it kind of fell off the radar a little bit, but the whole bit is, yes, absolutely. You can rank, you can advertise. There's so many other cool features that you can get now that Amazon's opening up things like,
and you can look for pain points that customers may have. So for example, there might be something trending in hair right now, or trending in their, like fitness is trending, right? And you could very quickly spin up a new listing.
Totally.
You could very quickly
Instantly
just change the label on a product to really go after that pain point and get after something else, right? Maybe, you know, you could switch up the coloring. It would be really easy to do that, right?
Super easy, super easy. So if I wanted to do this, let's just say hypothetically, now the other bit, sorry, this is the other secret here, is not only can you get your own labels on your own products, okay, but let me just talk through how this works so that everyone knows, okay? So once, the way that I'm going to connect it to Amazon is not going to be directly from Dropify. We don't have the integration quite yet. This is why this is kind of the first one out here. So what I do is you can choose to do this through either like a WordPress or WooCommerce store. There's plugins called Wplister that allows you to do that. And I can send you all the links and whatnot afterwards.
Yeah.
But Wplister would be the connector that you have in WooCommerce, and that looks like this. So when I'm in my WooCommerce section right here, you can see there's an Amazon thing. This is actually Wplister. And what it does is it allows me simply when I'm in my product. So this is a product that I'm creating actually for fiber gummies. What I can do is that Wplister allows me to say, do I want to list this on Amazon? Right. So I can just click that, and then I'm going to choose my upload, and I've already created one for fiber gummies, and then that's it. Right. So that's one way you can do it. Or if you go the Shopify route, if you have a Shopify store, which a lot of people just, whatever, it's just easier for them.
Right.
Then in Shopify actually has a real easy template as well, where all you have to do is click this sales channel button, and then it will open up all the different sales channel opportunities that you can have. Now, again, the reason you're not seeing Amazon is because I've already added it, but it would just say Amazon or eBay or whatever. And you can just click on here. You can even sell this on Facebook. You can sell it through Messenger. You can, like, there's so many opportunities with these connectors, right? And then in Amazon, all you're going to do is, I'm sure that most people that were watching this have a seller account already with Amazon. Right. You would just simply actually just log into your seller account right here. So this is my ID. And then what Shopify will do is it will match it based off of the SKU. Okay. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's how it works. Now, if that's a little bit over the top, it's okay. We're working backwards. Just so that people can understand, yes, this is something that's possible. This is how it's connecting. Now let's talk about what happens when someone orders, and then we're going to come right back to the product, and then we can work our way back really easily. So what happens when people order? Well, when you get an order, what will happen is the order in Amazon will go to the connector. It'll go to Shopify. If you're in Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever platform you're using that has the connector, you'll see an order, and that order will look something like this. Okay. So these are some folks that actually ordered from me in the past. Some of these are dummy orders just to kind of test it, but this is what it would look like. Okay. Then on Dropify's side, you would actually see that order directly come in because Dropify is connected to Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever. Does that make sense? So Amazon is connected to that Shopify WooCommerce, but Dropify is also connected. So that's how it's going to connect down to Dropify. Now, why is that important? It's because Dropify is going to do all the fulfillment for you automatically. How we do that is we have our own fulfillment center. We have our own partners with fulfillment centers and even our own fulfillment centers where we're storing all of this product. So instead of you having to do all of your upfront inventory costs, if you want to get a biotin gummy, guess what? We have over 10,000 biotin gummies on hand at any given time with the printers, and they're all sitting in these temperature controlled facilities, making sure that they're not going to expire sooner or whatever. And the reason we can do that is because we have the relationship with multiple manufacturers. We're not a manufacturer, right? We're like the broker. We have multiple relationships with all these manufacturers. We make the deal with them. Then we have all these products. And if your customer, say that you create a label like I have here, right? And if a customer were to buy this right now, what would happen is the order would come to wherever I have it connected. So in this case, it's WooCommerce. That is connected to Dropify. which is connected to the fulfillment center, which says, cool, this has been ordered. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, this is automatically going to get printed with my label. Okay. And it's going to get shipped day of, right? So depending on when the orders go in, I think it has to be before 11 o'clock in the morning. But once the cheapers, I just keep getting emails after emails right now. Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay.
So what happens is that gets printed right away, and then we ship it out, and then the client is going to get it in 1 to 3 business days.
Got it.
1 to 3 business days, guys. Like Amazon's not even doing that right now. 1 to 3 business days. So not only are you actually competing against the big boys in Amazon, you actually they're going to be getting it faster than a lot of folks would even be able to get with Amazon. Which anyway, so that's the power of that thing. And so you didn't buy any of it up front, which is crazy.
And so what happens is when somebody makes an order, so I pay you nothing to list that product and create my label. Correct. When I make a sale, I pay you, for example, on the biotin gummy, when I make a sale, I pay you $8.60. And you're fulfilling it to the customer, and whatever the customer paid me, if the customer paid me, $15, then I got to take out my Amazon referral fees. If I'm merchant fulfilling, then, I've got my profit left over from that. Right.
You got it. So so we're actually pulling from the drop shipping route. So what we've done essentially is we've gone drop shipping meets private label, and they got married and had a baby. Okay. And that's called private label on demand. So the idea is once you have an order that comes through. So here's an example of an open order. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's completed order. Paid. Okay. Here's an example of an unpaid order, right? So if I wanted to do this, the drop shipping model says this: once the order's placed, okay, the customer has paid you, right? So that's sitting in the Amazon, and that's not getting touched. So money isn't coming into Dropfight or anything like that. It's sitting in your own Amazon account, waiting the 2 weeks or whatever to get dispersed. That order is going to come, through that whole model. It's going to sit here in Dropify's platform. And then all you need to do is pay the cost of that product.
That $8.60 that we
whatever
saw.
That is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then there's going to be the shipping component. So that's going to cost the supplement and fulfillment. I think shipping is like $1.50 or something like that. But
okay.
Which, by the way, anyone that actually ships through Amazon, and again, this isn't a big slam on Amazon. It's just know the difference here is, for this same product, you'd be spending over $4 for the same shipping, and it's going to be for the same time. Now because of the massive volumes that we do with our clients, have a wicked deal that we run with UPS and USPS. But $1.50 to even $2 per supplement is crazy. Like that
right.
is so cheap.
That's a really good price. Because normally the lowest price you're even going to get with the U.S. Postal Service is like $3. So
yeah, totally. Right.
That's a really great price.
So then all you're going to do is pay for this. It'll bring up, this is what your actual thing is. Now, again, I'm shipping this to Canada, so that's why you're seeing larger times here. But again, you could ship this internationally if you wanted to. So which also opens up .ca, .mx, .wherever. But if you just want to stay in .com, again, this would look differently. So this is the order. All I'm going to say is make payment. I'll choose my, expedited or economy, but you can see 2 to 5 days. Even this is internationally, 2 to 5 days internationally, right? That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's only going to be for an extra $5 here. So anyway, so that's the model. That's how it works. That's why it's so crazy. Now that you understand the theory behind it, can I just show you an example of how quickly you can get your label on these things?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you actually, so we have a biotin here. We said that we are going to do a fiber one. So let's maybe jump into maybe a fiber gummy. Okay. Now there's a lot of super fun things you can do design wise, and there's a whole strategy on how to do that we walk you through. But
now, Mike, one question before we get into that.
Yeah.
Supplements is gated on Amazon. So in some cases, how do people quickly spin up a store if they are not ungated in supplements yet?
It's a great question. And you know what? It actually falls in the same line. This is where the nice little private, put this well, this is the toll highway that Dropify has with to get into Amazon, which is crazy. So you're right that they're normally gated. Now, one of the ways that the way that you would get ungated in Amazon is actually, let's even do this. If I actually go in here, I actually wonder if I would even see an example here. So if you were to use, say, WooCommerce and Wplister to get in, you would create your listing. They give you your full feed. You just fill in all the line items, like what's your UPC, what's your listing ID, what's your unit count, all that stuff. That normally what you would have to do to put in a listing anyway. And then you're going to be getting something that says this.
Merchant is not authorized to sell products under this restricted product group.
Right. So what happened? Sorry, this was active about 30 minutes ago, and they said that was going to come back because of a picture image. But I'm going to walk through how that works. So because you can see here's the done with no errors, right?
Right.
So in here, when you have, let's go into this one. Now, normally what you will see is you're going to see this error that kicks in, right? And it's going to be because of the brand. So you're going to see a 5665 error, right?
Yep.
And so to get around this, all that you need to do, and it's one conversation that you have once with Amazon, is once you have a brand. Now my brand is Sun-Made Naturals. Now it doesn't mean it has to be registered. You don't have to be trademarked or anything. You just need to make sure that whatever you're putting in there on your brand says Sun-Made Naturals. So if you actually go into the image here, I just have to show an actual physical picture that it is Sun-Made Naturals, right? And so let me see if I can pull it up here.
So you can pull the mock-up from Dropify.
Actually, it's a little bit, I tried the mock-up, it won't work. What you would need to do is, let me show you what this looks like here. So here, you can see this, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's all the supplements that I'm going to be throwing on here, okay? So my initial one was this guy. So actually what you need to do is you just need to take a physical picture, but remember, it only takes like 2 days to get to you. So you're going to send yourself a sample, and then you're going to take a picture of it. And then you have to make sure that they see the Sun-Made Naturals logo. And that way they're going to, they're going to say, okay, cool. You are a brand that can actually sell this thing. And then we'll unlock you to be able to sell both in this category and in this brand.
Right, which is the same 5665 process that you go through for anyone trying to list anything on Amazon now. It gets a 5665. So cool. You're going to have to submit your picture of your packaging and all of that. Yeah. So that makes sense. Cool. Okay.
And then for the ungating, I can put some points down below on what steps to follow if you keep getting the error for ungate like I did. Again, I just don't want to waste everyone's time on going through all those steps here with Amazon, but like you can see here, this one got on just fine. And then, obviously they knew I was going to have a call with you. And so they said, you know what?
Absolutely. You know what? We're blocking him.
Just for this. And then when you're done, it'll be back on again. So, but it's honestly, guys, it's a lot of fun. And then once you get it in, then you can start making sales. And it's crazy. There's so many different strategies then that you can use. Outside of just, PPC, like, just going after keywords, you can go after, like you can start targeting top 10 audiences. Like, I mean, even for biotin, one of my strategies here was not to jump into the war with, top trending keywords, because some keywords were $6, $7 to get into biotin gummies or hair gummies or, stronger hair or whatever. Right. But what I could go after is the top 10, I want to list on these products. And I saw a huge uptake just from folks because I could offer something that they couldn't, right? And that is the secret that I want to get into here. It's not the same product, that is because obviously they're offering a product and I'm offering a product, but it's something way more than that. And that is bundles, right? Because the one thing that makes people an absolute killing when it comes to e-commerce, it's not just having a great product that sells one at a time, but it's the ability to upsell or to create bundle offerings at a slight discount, but people are getting way more value for the money that they're spending. And instead of just, hitting the quantity button more, they're able to actually get something that no one else can offer. And why can't they offer it is because again, think of traditional private label. It takes forever. It takes absolutely forever to get those products, put together in packages, shipped over, put into Amazon. And then that's just one UPC that they have to get rid of all the time. What we're offering is the opportunity to actually, and the model to be able to go in, not just with one product, but multiple bundles, custom made bundles that you can flip in and out, in a matter of a couple hours.
And you could do a multi-pack too. You could do like a 3-pack of biotin gummies, so you could sell in bulk. You could do different, you could do biotin and immunity all
Totally.
together, all of that. Now, what about UPC? So how are you handling that? Because obviously each one takes a different UPC. So are you just doing G10 exemptions? What are you doing there?
Actually, what I do is I just go out and I just use gs1.ca. I have purchased a G1012 because I wanted 1,000 UPCs. Now it does cost me about $500 a year to get that, but I mean, it's not unlimited, but I have like I think I've used 200 UPCs in the last 2 years, out of it. But I mean, if you think about this strategy, yeah, you're going to need to have a good bucket load of UPCs available to you. So I mean, what in my opinion, what I would do is I would seriously consider gs1.ca and or whatever the American version of that would be, but I think it's j1.ca.org and or gs1.org. And I would get big batches like that because the whole key to this strategy is not just to put your own labels on, but if you think about it, you actually have an opportunity here to start testing the market for what's working, what's not working without any upfront inventory costs. And that's massive, right?
Right.
Because you say that, Sugar Bear Hair or, My Hair Vitamins or Amazon Basics, whatever they have, for their private label, just ends up dying at the end of Christmas. Like people just say, you know what, and it could come from anything. It could come from a science study that comes in and says, did you know how bad biotin's for you? Or it could be,
Yeah.
it could be something just gnarly that comes in and just disrupts the ecosystem. And so what's really cool is that if that were to happen, I'm no longer in a position where I'm at risk. I can literally unhook, move on to the next supplement, whereas these guys are stuck with a truckload of inventory that they have to figure out how to get rid of. And I mean, we've seen it happen so many times in these types of categories. And so the ability not only to test, but to jump out and jump in like within an hour is nuts, right? So I've been talking a lot about it. So do you mind if I actually show you how awesome, how quickly this is done and the power of this thing? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, this is back in the Dropify platform. And by the way, feel free to interrupt any questions that you have. The questions are good, right? So we're going to jump in and let's go back into our catalog here and let's see what we want to do here. Actually, no, I think I liked our idea. Let's go into fiber gummies. So in fiber gummies, I'm going to just look for that one. So I'm going to say fiber gummies. Yeah, okay, so fiber gummies. Okay, and this is going to pop up. And this is how quickly you can get into your store. It's super easy. Now, what I'm going to do is this is going to look like a traditional listing that you would see on whatever, anything that you're trying to add in on any typical drop shipping side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to customize my label. I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to try and there's a really fun one here that I like using. And by the way, sorry, before I get to this step, when you are, whatever, I'll just put it in here first. When you are, if you don't know how to do labels, that's okay. There's a couple things that we do here. One is we give you a label template. So if you're used to using, companies like Fiverr or Upwork or 99 Designs or whatever, you literally just send them this design. And actually what we've done is we've mapped out what they, where the bleed lines are, where the safe zones are, what they need to do, what they can remove, how to edit. Like it's super easy. But if you're someone that is a designer and you want to do this on your own, then we actually, there's a really wonderful video that we do on literally a step-by-step on how to do this using Adobe Illustrator, which is in my opinion, one of the easier programs to use this in, where you can literally throw your own backdrop on and it tells you what you're allowed to change, what you're not allowed to change. Obviously you can't change things like supplement facts or suggested use or any of the, legalese of it, but anything like you could change fiber gummy, you can change, where this is, what it says. We provide their own barcodes for you. So you don't have to supply anything like that, which is wonderful because that's a huge difference from what Amazon normally does with their FBA. And you can literally throw anything all over this and get really creative with it. So what I want to show you is an example of how creative you can actually get with it. So if I go in, customize my label here. You can have a few different interesting designs that you can put in here. So I'm going to start with one, but but is a little bit more designed for kids, which is hilarious. And I mean, we have our own in-house design team here, and so we have a lot of fun with it. But all you're going to do is you're going to put your design in, and then you have a nice, mock-up that it projects. So this one's called Unfrozen, following the Frozen theme, fiber gummies, and let it flow, don't hold it back anymore, which I thought was freaking hilarious. But that's funny, right? And so some people, when they look at this, how are you going to advertise this? Well, is this going to pop out next to the competition? Absolutely, right? If you wanted to put this, next to, say, multivitamins, right? You can advertise on multivitamins. You can make this a package with multivitamins, and we're going to talk about how we can do that in just a second here. But let's just put in so what I'm doing right now is these are not going to affect print. This is just how it's going to display as the mock-up. And so what I like using in my mock-ups is suggested use is a good picture to have. I put in supplement facts on one side because everyone wants to see that, obviously. And,
right.
And you can just move it around here, which is really cool. And then I like putting in just a 3 bundle, even though it may or may not have a 3 bundle. It's just nice gives people the understanding that they should be buying this more in bulk. And then once that's done, I'm going to generate my images. Good. And then after that generates, I can actually just push it right to my store. And then from my store, I can push it right to Amazon. It's that simple.
Got it. Makes sense.
So then once it's actually in your store, say that you don't want to come forward with just a fiber gummy. You want it to come out with like a family thing, right? Or a full, like we had talked about, a full pack. Well, what you can do is, remember, this is all triggering the fulfillment center. So we can do whatever you want there. And it's all going to get put in the same box and sent out to the customer anyway. So whether that's one or whatever. So if I want to send this to my store, let's say that I just wanted to send this to my Shopify store. Then I can, once it pushes there, it'll get hey, this has been done properly. I'm going to go to my Shopify store, check my products out. And then you can see I have a number of products that are in here right now, but here we go, fiber gummies. Okay. So when you do this, if you're doing this, whether this is in, whether this is in Shopify or WooCommerce or Conversation or whatever platform you're using to connect to Amazon, what you would do simply here is you would say, great, well, instead of this just being a single pack, obviously I'm going to have to change my images afterwards because this just looks like it's a unfrozen thing here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in. Okay, I'm going to give this a great review because this is going really well. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that actual product that we created. So this is my saved products. I'm going to go into my store, which I call tone deaf or tone and definition. And it looks like I've put it in here before. But anyway, I'm going to click on this. And again, people don't necessarily have to know how to do this right now, but just know that this is what you would do.
Right.
And the power of it, right? But all I'm literally going to do is I'm going to go in on the back end of this. I'm going to say, cool. When someone orders this, they don't just get one. When they order it, this is actually not going to be a fiber gummy product anymore. This is going to be a pack that we're going to create, right? So in here, I'm going to actually map on the back end what the fulfillment center needs to print, like pull out and print. And I'm going to do that with multiple products. So first I'm going to create this product and say I wanted this to be like a 3-month pack, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to choose my product, and I'm going to say I want 3 of these. Okay. And then boom, there's that product. Next, I'm going to go into my other product. I'm going to say, great, I want maybe a adult multivitamin for women, right? So I'm going to do a women multi, and I'm going to say, cool, I'm going to add 3 of those. And again, you have to think about pricing and right, what you actually want to charge and all that as well. But if I want a gut vitamin, great, I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to add maybe 1 of those. And I mean, you just keep going and going and going. Like you can create a 75 product, 100 product, 1,000 product, bundle if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. Say I want a digestive here for my apple cider gut vitamin gummy, and you just keep going. I'll say 3 of these. And this is just a full gummy line if you wanted to do that. Now, again, it's not just gummies. I'm just honing in on gummies for the example, but obviously you can do this with CBD products. You can do this, we have amazing, workout products in here. We have, when we talk about pet, we have joint support, we have CBD treats for pets. We have tinctures for pets. Like these are 6-month tinctures, depending on the size of pet that you have, which is crazy. Skincare lines, we have hand sanitizers, we have CBD topicals for, active relief and anti-wrinkle cream. day lotions that are, scented, night cream. This is the largest night cream on the market in Amazon right now. So if anyone, and this is actually, it gives you a suggested MSRP here of what you would sell for. I probably sell this for at least $80. Because this is 3 times the size of any night cream that's out there right now. Eye wrinkle gel, you can do combos with wrinkle gels and anti-wrinkle formulas. You can do joint support combinations for pets and for adults, pets and for humans. You can do kid family variations. You can do treats. Like, it's just nuts. Think of all the variations, all the bundles that you can do with this, all branded. And not only can you do this with, say, I have Sunmade Naturals, I can flip up a million brands if I wanted to. And that might be a big number for people, but even if I wanted to try out 10 brands, if I wanted a gag gift brand, if I wanted a professional brand, if I wanted a Kirkland type brand, if I wanted, and then you're going in and seeing what people's designs are, you're grabbing inspiration from those designs. You're seeing what's working, what's not working, like you do with Amazon anyway.
And you can, like you said, you can really niche down. So like in the pet category, for example, you can say like these treats are specifically for bulldogs.
Absolutely. And not even just bulldogs, get even further. This is specifically for show bulldogs. This is specifically for Wisconsin bulldogs. This is specifically for, bulldogs, with kids, or bulldogs with, in a family. Like, you have no idea what's going to land, and you can check out usually what's going to land off of things like, Pinterest or t-shirts, because those are,
then you could go after like specific like breeds of pets that have, joint problems or whatever. And then you can, the biggest thing is, I mean, it is cool that you can do this, but the biggest thing is that people really need to understand that supplements are hard as it is. Supplements are really tough to get into because in most cases they require trust. Right? I've helped a ton of people sell supplements. And the biggest thing is that if you don't have that trust, or if you don't have that differentiation, you need to be able to garner trust. The bottom line is people are wanting to see a brand that they know and trust before they buy something that goes in or on their body. So you are going to need to do a little bit more work than just slapping it up on Amazon, because it's, you've got to have that trust behind it. And there's a lot of brands that are, building it out. But what this allows you to do, if you already have a market of people that, like, for example, I am a vitamin junkie. I take vitamins every single day. I post about it, so I have an audience already. Like you were mentioning with your toys, right? Like you went out there and you said, hey friends, I got this thing here. And, so if you already have the audience, you already are doing this, like this is the perfect opportunity for you to put your own label on something and, garner that trust and get it moving. And you wouldn't even have to do it on Amazon. You could do it on a Shopify store or whatever. But what's great about it is you're not having to order 100 bottles of something and then go, oh, I screwed up my label, or, oh, my trademark didn't work out. And now I have to rebrand. I've seen that happen to a lot of people in supplements.
And if I can speak to that, because there's actually, you're 100% right. And coming back to, one of the few things I was saying at the beginning is it's about relationship. It's about story. It's about trust, right? And so how are you going to do that? Well, one of the strategies that this allows you to do. So let's, if we can stay on the pet, kind of model here. So say that you wanted to do, no, I'm just suggesting that we're going to put the word arthritis on here, but let's just see what this pops out with. I'm just thinking joint support, right? Okay, so maybe that one's not the right one. Let's say arthritis.
I think it was just spelled wrong.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So this is a pretty decent trend that's happening, but let's see what else is arthritis in dogs' back, signs of arthritis in dogs, arthritis in dogs. Okay, so this is an example. So if you just want to do something as simple as Google Trends, right? You could say, great, I want to hit Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Indiana. Okay, so let's just even start there. Now this is gonna like spider out like crazy. But
if you go back to the trends, you could see German Shepherd was one of the biggest, and Yorkshire Terrier. So you can specifically put on your label that these are for German Shepherds. These vitamins are specifically made for German Shepherds.
or big breed dogs like German Shepherds, right? So then you can say, big. And so then if you wanted to, this is for the trust factor. So if we were to, let's take a step away from the label for 1 second, and let's talk about how can we get trust, right? So I would say top breeds or dog breeds in, where was it? Pennsylvania, right? Which I'm going to screw. Thank you, Auto.
Thank you, Google, for autocomplete.
All right. So this is penlive.com. And again, I like blogs that really help with this. But again, you can go to the top 5 blogs on SEO and see what we have. So let's see what we have. Well, we have
German Shepherds is number 2.
Get out of here. Ugh, jeepers.
This is so terrible. All right, there we go.
Okay. Retrievers, German Shepherds, Retrievers, Golden, Rottweilers, Siberian Huskies, Poodles, French Bulldogs, whatever. Okay. So in here, what I would do is, it says Alaska right on top here, but anyway. Oh, geez. So this is all the way down. So let's go Pennsylvania. And I have to really spell this right. And so there we go. Thank God.
There we go.
Okay, so yeah, you're right though, German Shepherds. So Pennsylvania Retrievers, German Shepherds, Retrievers, Beagles, Bulldogs, Boxers, right? So what you would want to do is you need to know your audience. That's key, right? So before you actually start going out there, and what Amy's saying is like bang on 100%. You need to find out where your folks are, are aggregating, so that you can then go into that same place, listen to what's happening, and then find the right way to communicate with them. So how are you going to find that? Well, with COVID, or really any seasonal situation, or any pandemic or whatever the situation is, it doesn't matter if it's a giant pandemic or if it's just a season or a situation. You have to figure out where people are, where the communities are gathering now, right? So Facebook is a great place for that. And so if you wanted to hit Facebook even, and take a look at, groups, and let's see what I have here. We want to do, let's just type in Retrievers, Pennsylvania, Retrievers, Golden Retrievers. Okay. So I wanted to hit Golden Retrievers, and maybe I'm going to try one more and say Penn. Oh man, there's no way I'm going to spell that.
With that 100,000 people in that Golden Retrievers group.
Totally, right? So you can sit here now, guys. This is just one model. I have about 5 or 6 like amazing ways of doing this, that was pretty self-pumping. I have 5 or 6 ways of doing this, but that I know work, right? So if you ran this, this is retrieve. So this is going to be looking at where I'm at right now. But if I wanted to try and find something,
Puppies in
Central
Central
PA.
Pennsylvania.
Cool. So 2,300 people. It's not crazy, but it's not bad, right? So if I want to jump in here, let's see what it's about. For showcase, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the whole point is you want to get a part of these groups, and you want to get invited into it. And the whole point isn't to pitch, because they'll kick you out so fast.
Yeah.
But the whole point is to get involved, right? Like, especially if you're a dog lover and this resonates with you, then jump in and just enjoy being a part of the community, because I promise you what will happen is this, and this is either step 2 or a modified step 1. Is you're going to look for folks that you can then send this down to, and you would simply just say, hey, listen, I have a new supplement that I've created for, and then you go into each of these things, like for Labrador Retrievers, right? And so then what you're going to do is you're going to slap a label on there that says, joint support for Labrador Retrievers. And then you're going to put in the key benefits that and you're going to research the market, figure out what those benefits need to be or whatever. And you're going to say, I have this supplement. Could I send you a free bottle? I would love to get your feedback on it, right? And you can even create those feedbacks using free tools like Typeform or SurveyMonkey or whatever, right? But when you do that, you have access to an unlimited number of supplements that you could put unlimited number of designs onto, and you don't have to buy all those supplements up front. So just send them out. And what you're doing for each one is you're asking them for, what I usually tell my clients here is I say, you're going to ask them for 4 videos, right? And those four feedback videos or testimonial videos are going to be the box opening. Like, how did it come? Was it sealed? Was it good? What do they look like? Give it to your dog so you can show it, right? And then you're going to do what happened after a week, what happened after 2 weeks, what happened once the bottle's done, and what, did it meet your expectations? Just simple things, right? Because the one thing that I can tell you is that trust starts with when it comes to products, when people don't believe that they're the first ones coming in. If they believe they're the first ones, it's a lot harder unless you're going to find those innovators. What you're looking for is you're trying to foster the innovators, like the people that are just coming in, by giving them your supplements, by giving them things to test out, by getting all the testimonials, by figuring out what markets work and what markets don't. But you have a truckload then of testimonials coming in. Put those on your website. And guess what? Even with Amazon, you can start putting in things. Oh, here comes the email train again. Cheapers. What's going to happen here is you're going to be able to put things like videos, like on your last picture on Amazon. It's one of the things that they're opening up. You can do video ads, video shorts in your advertising. And these are things that you can use to create your video shorts. You can get amazing tools like, oh my gosh, like Movie Maker or Camtasia or whatever, to actually grab these testimonials, put nice little short commercials together. But that's one thing that helps foster trust. The second thing that helps foster trust, if you're not doing it right now, is blogging. Right? So look for blog posts that are happening for joint support in German Shepherd dogs in Pennsylvania, right? And what are they saying? And usually what happens is, hey, are you an owner of a German Shepherd in Pennsylvania? Well, yeah, I'm going to read that. And when you're going through, just say, this is typically what the science says. This is what most people are trying out. But here's this amazing deal on this incredible, supplement that helps conquer X, Y, and Z things. And you can get it now for 50% off. And that's another strategy, using things like native ads for advertorials or creating blog posts on your own site.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are just, they don't necessarily want to do all the extra work. But if you're wanting to get into the supplement space, it's not just supplements. I mean, there's a ton of products that require trust. It's skincare, beauty, skincare. But you can, once you build out that trust, and Mike gave us a lot of really great tips to do that. But once you build out that trust, then you can definitely, this is a good model to be able to quickly build your brand. Yep. Quickly and easily build your brand. So it's something to think about. You've given us, a really great start to it. And especially for those people that are already, so I'm already in the pet industry. Yeah. So I already have the trust of my customers because I invented a product that solves their problem. So I could very easily add some supplements to my line, to my store quickly, easily. Totally. So for those people that have a product where they could add something like this and make it very easy for them to grow their lines, it's a good opportunity for them. And then for those people that are already passionate about fitness or skincare or healthcare, this is an opportunity for you to try something at a smaller scale and get into it without having to, find huge private labelers and order lots of stuff.
Make sure they're licensed, make sure that you have everything. Yeah, it's just a nightmare, right? For people that do it.
So how do people get started if they're wanting to try this out? How do people get started?
So what we'll do here is I'm going to be giving Amy a nice link below. And what that's going to be doing is if you wanted to jump in, normally what this platform looks like is about just over $2,000 per year. Okay. And that's what that's what folks are coming in with. But what we've been starting to see since, the pandemic is that folks are like, all their money's tied up in inventory that's getting stuck in Amazon. And yet they need something to help, kind of push through Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's not going to take them months and months because we don't have months and months. And so what we've done is we've actually, we've created a really, really special package here for Amy and Amazing and everyone that is seriously interested in trying to either support their existing brand or create new brands or test the market for brands. And so what that's going to be is it's going to be $197 a month. It's month to month. It's not an annual commitment or anything like that. But what we're actually going to do is I'm actually throwing in an extra $2,500 worth of gifts. And what those gifts are is, one, if you just are looking for ways to actually market this thing like crazy, not using Amazon, but you're looking for other ways to actually drive to Amazon, which is going to help build your organic presence, then we're going to show you other traffic secrets that you can use using things like native ads or advertorials or influencers or anything. And that's what a lot of the big brands are doing when they want to launch something really huge out of the gate is they have access to that. And we want to be able to show you how to get access to that, how to do it step by step. So we're throwing in that it's called the supplement traffic secret mini course. It's not just for supplements, it's for everything. But so we're going to throw in those step-by-steps. The other thing I'm going to do is, like I said before, we have our own design team. And one of the major hurdles that we've seen, even with our beta team, like over a year ago, that was doing this, is design. Design is really tricky, right? Like, and for those that are thinking, I love this, but I don't know how I don't know how I feel about putting my own brand on this quite yet. I kind of want to test the market trying other brands, but I don't know how to do that because I'm not a designer. I remember when I started my own design and it was a nightmare and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go through that. Well, we've actually created over 100 design templates that are designed for each of these products that you're going to see in that. And so all you literally need to do is just, put it in. If you want to send it to Fiverr for like $7, just say, hey, listen, here's the design I want. All I'm looking for is you put this in the title, this, as my key benefits, and this is my company and information. And that's what we wanted to do, is create nice templates for you just to get started right now. And if you want to make little tweaks, it's a lot easier. Trust me, it's a lot easier working with Fiverr and Upwork and 99 Designs or whatever it is that you're working with for that low cost barrier when there isn't a language barrier. And you can literally say, this is what I want. I want this image instead of this image, and that's it, right? Instead of trying to write it all out and get lost in the 2-week nightmare. So not slamming against Fiverr, but also if you want to do it on yourself, then these are great templates that you can use just to quickly drag and drop using Adobe Illustrator. So we're going to throw that in as well. So that mini course, the 100 label designs, and the full template here, month to month. There's no commitments, $197. And again, if this is something that you would like just to help you with a nice Q4 push and just to get started, then it's a low cost barrier. And you can obviously see the amazing, like how quickly you can get something actually up on Amazon and into your store. And literally, I even have a 30-day, you know what, I'll even throw it in, whatever, is there's a nice 30-day plan that I have for folks that really want to do this meticulously. What's nice is it sounds like a lot of your audience is going to be able to skip a lot of the set up your business section of that. So it's not even going to be 30 days anymore. It might be like 15, maybe less than that, just to get started with it. And so anyway, I'm going to throw all that in here for you guys, because my job is to help let our success as a company be the platform for your success. It's what my wife and I believe in. It's why I started, coming in and helping out with Dropify. And I know it's what Amy believes in as well. Is I'm not here to kind of walk you through the mud that we walk through. The point is we've paved over that now. It's a lot smoother. It's still work and it still takes time, but it's a heck of a lot easier than when we were going through it. And so, and so we're going to be providing that, as well as, from a customer service standpoint, we've actually just doubled our success team, and that team is there for things like video calls, live chat, and they're all over the world. So I don't want to say it's 24/7 quite yet, because I think there's a couple hours that we're missing, but they're like unheard of hours, like 2 or 3 in the morning, which.
And I think if you were to start with a lot of the suppliers in the US already that have supplements, that $197, if you already know that you want to do a brand like this, and, that money would be gone in an instant, just working with, one of the suppliers and samples back and forth and all of that. So it's something that at least you guys have an option to cancel anytime. And so it's something that people can try with a very low barrier to entry and give it a shot, And so especially if you already set up, and that would be very easy for you to, for me, like, for example, to add 5 supplements to my pet brand. That's very easy to do in this method, right? I already have the WooCommerce website. I already have the Amazon integration. So it's a little bit easier to do. I already have the barcodes, all that kind of fun stuff. So I can see that it's not for everyone. Not everyone's going to be interested in supplements or building a brand or whatever, but for those people that are, this is a cool option. And thank you, Mike, for sharing it with us today. And I will definitely share the link down below. And thank you for taking the time to walk us through your story and what you guys got going on over at Dropify, because I think it's really cool. It's something different and something that could benefit a lot of people.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me, Amy. This has been it's been a lot of fun. And if anyone has any questions, we'll also put the information down below where you can just go ahead and email me, and I'm more than happy to answer anything for anybody if they didn't get it in the show or if they wanted some more information.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
See you later.